The control panel right here on your Solis is a centralized location that allows you to do a bunch of different things, like check your gray tank level, your battery level, your propane, and you also can turn on your water pump and your generator right here. To check your gray tank, you're going to hit the button that says gray, and when I do that here, I get one light, which is the E for empty. And if you want to check your propane, you're going to hit the LPG button. When I do that on my panel, I get all 4 lights, so that gives me full. And when you want to check your battery, you hit the BAT button, and I'm getting all 4 lights on that, so that gives me that C, which stands for charged. And remember, this is for your house batteries, this isn't for your engine batteries. You can turn the water pump on right here with this switch, but do remember you have a water pump switch in the back of the coach on the water service panel. And this is similar to light switches you have in your home that operate the same light. So depending on which one you used last to turn it on or off, the direction of the switch might be backwards. And finally, you can start and stop your generator with this switch right here. Plus you can see the hours, the total hours your generator has run right here on this display.
The main panel for the breakers and fuses in the Solis is located here underneath the rear bed in the back of the coach. Just push on the panel and it will pop open. Breakers are on the left, fuses are on the right.
The generator provides your Solis 120 volt AC power just like the outlets in your house. Plugging into shore power does the same thing, but when you can't plug in, you have the generator. Running the generator is really easy, but first you want to make sure it's safe to start it. The generator's exhaust can get hot, so you want to make sure there's nothing combustible under it like dry grass. It's also a good practice to close the driver's side bedroom window because that's right above the generator exhaust. To turn the generator on, you hold down the start button until you hear it start. You're going to need to let it warm up, and this takes a minute. And you'll know it's ready when you hear the click of the transfer switch coming from the back of the coach. And you won't have power until you hear that click. There it was. Now once you do have power, you can use the 120 volt outlets just like you do at your house. To turn off the generator, just hold down the stop button on the panel until you hear it stop. There is some required maintenance for your generator, so do make sure you consult your owner's manual for that.
On electrical power in the Solis, this switch here on the forward end of the galley is your 12 volt master switch. It will turn on the house batteries to power up all of the 12 volt fixtures and appliances in the coach. With the 12 volt power on, you will have power to your refrigerator, the True Macombi heating system, all of the lights in the coach, the 12 volt outlets, and all of the USB outlets. What you will not have is power to the 110 volt outlets through the coach. You will need to plug the coach into shore power to have 110 power at those outlets. Light switches are provided throughout the Solis. They look like this, and this pair on the forward wall of the galley cabinet. The outer switch controls the porch light located above the passenger side door. The inboard switch controls the main lights down the length of the ceiling of the coach. The light fixtures located on the bottoms of the overhead cabinets have a switch in the middle to turn them on and off. The switch for the bathroom light is located on the wall here adjacent to the bathroom door. The service light on the driver's side of the coach is controlled with this switch on the water center panel. Your Solis comes with a 30 amp power cord. This is the end that connects to the power inlet on the coach, and this is the end that will connect to the pole at your campsite. It's generally a good idea to connect to the coach first, have the breaker off on the pole, plug into the pole and then turn the breaker on at the pole. You'll notice there's a small L shape to one of the prongs. You'll see that prong here on the Solis. Line them up, give the plug a slight turn, you'll feel it's locked into place. Further secure it with a locking collar. And the coach side is now plugged in. When both ends of your power cord are connected, turn on the breaker. This blue light will illuminate, indicating that power is now flowing to your Solis. The cab seats in the Solis may be swiveled to become part of the floor plan. To do so, press upwards on this yellow lever here in the front of the seat base. That will release the swivel mechanism. You may need to use the bar here at the front of the seat to slide the seat forward to complete that swivel action. To return the seat to its forward location, just turn it forward and it will automatically lock into place for travel. The dinette table and table leg store in the space behind the dinette seat. To use the dinette table, insert the leg into the receptacle on the floor. There's a matching receptacle on the bottom of the table. Your table's in place. It can be rotated as necessary. The Murphy bed in the back of the Solis is secured with the barrel catch here on the rear side of the bath cabinet. Release the barrel catch. Carefully lower the bed. You may need to lift up the cushion clearance to lower the bed. Your additional cushions will fold down. You'll note a small amount of interference for the cushions to fit tightly. Which ensures that you won't feel the breaks in the cushions when you're sleeping. Sheets for the bed can be fitted queen size sheets, fit around the central cushions. To raise the bed back up, first fold up the cushions on the driver's side, lift the bed, and secure it with the barrel catch. To raise the pop top on the Solis, release the safety catch on both sides, and then release the clamp with a half turn. Again, both sides. Then with a bit of effort, push the pop top up until the gas shocks take over. The ladder to access the pop top is stored up here above the cab. It comes in two pieces, the top half with the hooks. They're hooked here. And the bottom half, which has angled feet to match the floor. The two halves are slid together. And then the over-center latches hold the two halves together. The pop-top space has zippered window coverings. The coverings can be rolled up. And the coach has Velcro ties to secure the window open. It also has a screen with their own zippers that can be opened for even more ventilation or a better view. Bringing the top down, you'll notice there are two red tabs on either side of the pop top. They're used to pull the canvas in as you pull the top down. Typically in calm conditions you won't need them, but you may in windier conditions. So to lower the top, we'll grab the two straps, pull them down, ensure the canvas comes to the inside. So we pull the top down ensuring that the canvas gets the outsides of the clamps. And we'll give the top just an extra tug to get the latch into place. Half turn. The primary clamp is engaged. Safety strap. Simply clips in place, and this side is secure. We'll do the same on the opposite side. Your Solis has an LP cooktop. In using this stove, the first thing to do is open the vent located in the pop top. Onto the stove itself, lift the glass lid, and your controls for the stove are right here. You will need to ensure that both the outside and inside LP switches are in the on position. To light the stove, turn the knob and press the igniter button, and you'll see the blue flame. When you've completed cooking, allow sufficient time for the stove to cool off before closing the lid. Another feature of note in the Solis galley is the work surface extension. Secured with a barrel catch. The refrigerator in the Solis runs on 12-volt battery power. To use it, make sure your coach battery switch is on. Release the travel latch, and then the latch here for the door, lift up, and the door will swing open. Inside, we have a dial to turn the refrigerator on and control the temperature. Setting it somewhere in the mid-range tends to work pretty well. Also note, we do have a freezer section here on the top of the refrigerator. Closing the refrigerator, ensure the latch catches, and reset your travel latch. The Solis comes with blinds for the cab windows. The side window blinds are one piece and easily installed. There are two magnets to help hold the blind in place. The windshield blinds come in two pieces. To install them, you'll do one side and then the other. You may need to move the rearview mirror to slide the blind in behind. And then lower the visor to lock the blind in place. Located in the right rear corner of the coach, inside of the right rear door, is our multi-purpose water center control panel. Elements of the panel include connection for the hose, hot and cold outside shower, control switch for the water pump, a light that will illuminate when the pump is on, switch for the service light on the driver's side of the coach, and the control valves for the panel. Utilizing the various functions of the panel involves first setting the valves to the correct positions. The combinations are shown here in this diagram. Right now, we're set for dry camping. This would be the normal operation when you're camping without any other connections to the coach. In this setting, the water pump pulls water from the freshwater tank and sends it to the fixtures. Power tank fill is used to fill your fresh water tank from a hydrant at a campground or similar location. Potable water hose is typically white and labeled on the packaging for potable water. Open up the cover on your city fill and then we'll tighten the hose by turning the locking collar on the panel. Note that I'm turning the locking collar to the left in order to tighten the hose. The other end of the hose is connected to a hydrant. Turn the hydrant on. The freshwater tank has vents on the top so that when it is full, the overflow will run safely onto the ground below the coach. That's a good indicator that your tank is full. Other possible combinations of the valves include city water. In this configuration, pressurized water connected to the port is sent directly to the fixtures, bypassing the water pump and the freshwater tank. The sanitized condition. Sanitized can be used for two purposes. The first is to add a sanitizing agent to your freshwater tank. The second can be used if you would like to add additional water to your freshwater tank in a remote location from an auxiliary fuel jug. What happens in the sanitized position is that water is drawn from the hose connection and sucked up by the water pump and sent directly to the freshwater tank. All of the fixtures are bypassed in this situation until you've filled the tank. The winterize function allows the freshwater pump to draw fluid from the hose connection and send it directly to the fixtures in the coach. This is discussed further in the winterization video. The second switch for the water pump is located on our water center control panel. Switch is here. Turning it on illuminates a light. Solis uses a sight glass to read the level of the fresh water tank. It is located here on the face of the galley cabinet. It's backlit, providing a nice night light, and also allows you to see the level of the water in the fresh water tank. The door for the toilet cassette is located on the driver's side of the coach. Press these two buttons to open the door. Push up on the blue handle to draw the cassette out. If it's difficult to pull the cassette out, it's possible that the gate in the bowl of the toilet is open. Go inside, close that, and you should be able to draw the cassette out. The cassette has a capacity of 4.75 gallons, so it may be a little bit heavy to carry to a dump location, in which case it does come with a handle and roller wheels to make moving it around easier. At your dump location, which could be an RV dump site, a pit toilet, or even a regular toilet, rotate the spout, remove the cap, and on the cassette there is a blue button right here that you'll press to vent the tank and pour out the waste. The other thing that you could do at this point in time is slide this gate and turn this knob to open up the tank, and this is a good opportunity if you want to add a sanitizer or others to wash out your tank. Reinsert the tank into the cassette compartment until it clicks and locks into place. Close the door. Your Solis uses propane, or LP as it's known in other parts of the country, to power the Truma Combi heating system and also for the galley stove. The tank holds 6 gallons and will need to be refilled periodically. Propane is generally available at larger truck stops such as a Flying J or Pilot. It can also be found at some of the larger commercial campgrounds, some KOAs and such. The fill for the LP is here on the passenger side of the coach. Fortunately, having the LP tank filled is a full service operation. They will have someone come out and fill the tank for you. You'll just have to ask. They will be filling the LP right here. There's a switch here for the Solis's electric LP valve. Now there are 2 switches for this one. Both need to be in the on position for the LP to flow. We have got the outside switch here, and then we have another one on the inside. When you get LP for your coach, The technician will generally probably leave this switch in the off position, so as you drive away you'll need to turn this back on. The interior LP switch is located here on the forward wall of the bath cabinet. The gauge for the LP tank is located here on our one-place panel. For LP to flow, both the exterior and the interior LP switches must be in the on position. The Solis is heated with the Truma Combi Echo. This appliance combines the furnace and the hot water heater into one unit. To use it, first make sure you have your outside and inside LP valves in the on position. The control for the combi is here on the forward wall of the bath cabinet. The controls are a knob which can be both turned and depressed like a button, and a return button. See, it indicates the time. Depress the button, and we'll be concerned with the two icons in the upper left corner of the screen. The flashing picture of a motorhome with a thermometer is the coach heat. Depress the button, and you'll see where it says off. Turn the dial up to your desired temperature, and depress the button again to set the temperature. Your heat system is now on, and it will heat the interior of the coach. To also heat hot water, the icon next to the motorhome shows a thermometer in water. Depress to select that. This is the hot water. See, it says off, echo, which keeps the water warm, and hot, higher temperature water, and boost. In the boost mode, the combi will only heat water and not the interior of the coach. We'll select hot. To turn the system off, we'll depress the center button, select our heat icon, dial it all the way down to off, and press the button again to select off. It is important that you press the button again to select off. Likewise with the heat or the hot water, turn that back to off, press the button, and now the water heater is off. In colder conditions, it's a good idea to turn on the holding tank heater. These are 12-volt heater pads on the outside gray water holding tank. You will of course have to have the master switch on for your 12-volt power, and then to flip the switch up and it will illuminate. The pads will operate on a thermostat, so as it gets cold, approaching freezing, the pads will switch on. Be aware that this will be an extra draw on your house batteries. The Solis comes equipped with Winnebago's EcoHot system. What the system does is flush all of the cold water from your hot water lines and routes it back into the fresh water tank. To use the system, with your water pump turned on and your water heater in operation, go to this valve here in the face of the galley by the galley sink. You'll turn it to the left, count to 6, turn it back to normal. While you've had the valve turned, you'll hear the pump run, and when you turn it back to normal, the pump should stop. You'll now have hot water at all of your fixtures. If you choose not to use the EcoHot system, it's not a problem. You'll just have to wait a few moments for the hot water to arrive at your faucet, just like any other coach. The Solis comes with a rooftop ventilation fan that includes a rain cover. The vent fan is here above the main bed in the rear of the coach. The controls for the fan are here in the corner. There's a main power switch that will cause the fan to turn on and the cover to automatically raise. The up and down arrows are used to control the fan speed. Pressing the off button closes the rain cover and shuts off the fan. Third button, labeled auto, when turned on, illuminates the green light. And now, if the temperature inside the coach reaches 78 degrees, the vent will automatically open and the fan will turn on. Depressing the power button disables the auto feature. When using your vent fan, the coach master power switch needs to be on. And it's also a nice idea to open one of the windows towards the forward end of the coach to draw air through to completely vent the vehicle.
To operate your air conditioner, you're going to need 120 volt AC power, and there are two ways to get that in the Solis. You either can run your generator or you need to be plugged into shore power. So to run the air conditioner, you've got two knobs to control it. One is the knob that's gonna say low fan, low cool, high cool, and the other is the temperature control knob. Blue is gonna make it colder and red is gonna make it warmer. So once your air conditioner is running, you can control the airflow with these louvers that are in the front and the back of the air conditioner, and these two black knobs here adjust them. And then you also have these directional vents you can set for airflow too. One thing to note is if it's going to get cool, like below 75 degrees, you should avoid cranking the air conditioner all the way up over to the cold side on the temperature control, because it's possible the evaporator coil may become iced up. And if that happens, you can just run the fan on high until it defrosts.